Hello and welcome to Colleague 7 Sprint Review for 19.09.02. This will cover the work undertaken between the 17th of September to the 30th of September. Our sprint goal for this sprint has been to continue progressing the back office project with updates to the print invoices feature, the manual invoice and manual credits, and also to add the option to delete history. Looking at the high-level items and to explain further, in this sprint we've worked on the print invoices function, giving it a document type option and print immediately setting to send documents to your default printer. We've added the option to delete history based on a user group permission and a flag to allow deletion against specific history codes. We've added the option to link a manual invoice or manual credits to a placement record. We've resolved an issue with text criteria searching to allow for certain quotation marks to be converted into acceptable characters when copying and pasting from an external source. We've added the assistant field to the contact record and updated the organization chart to factor in this field. We've added an email button to all email fields, similar to the click to dial button for telephone numbers, so that you can select an email address you wish to use for emailing a record. And we've ensured the name of a saved search will appear in the black title bar. We'll now go for a brief demonstration on the key features from this sprint. The first point to go through is in relation to the new feature that's been added to enable you to be able to delete history items from a record. This is enabled through a user group permission, but it's worth covering that there's also the option to edit a history as well. So I'll cover it in this video, I'll cover it, both those options. So essentially from within the admin area under user group permissions, within this section you've got two options now. You've got one which is the edit history items user group permission, which you've had previously, and that needs to be set to full access. And then you have one here called delete history items, and that needs to be set to full access as well. And that's basically authorizing your user with the rights to be able to delete history items or edit history items if the second level configuration enables you to do so. So this will give you the rights as a user to be able to run that workflow. But what you then need to do within the lookups area under history codes is actually signify which history codes should be allowed to be edited and also allowed to be deleted as well. Allow deletion, there's an option there. So against each of these different histories, you may have preferences to enabling someone to be able to edit them but not delete them, or delete them but not edit them, or basically just set those both to yes, and you can have free reign of the history table. So if I go to a contact record, and if I go to history here, what you can see is on selection of a history code that's been enabled to be deleted, you have this delete history option that's in the toolbar there on the right, and you can also see that the history is editable as well. You can edit the history. And if you were say on a diary entry, so this is a diary entry where you can't edit the diary entry, but you can delete it. This is a scenario of a history type where you can edit the history but you can't delete it. So you always retains the fact that an event occurred, but obviously the history could be edited to amend perhaps the notes or the text or something in regards to that. With regards to the actual deletion process, you hit delete history. It obviously requests a confirmation yes or no. You hit yes there, and then obviously deletes the history. So you have now full configuration with regards to editing a history, deleting a history, specifying which histories can be deleted, which can be edited, and which ones are exempt from this kind of overriding authority as well, which one should be left alone in all circumstances. So hopefully that's given you all the configuration that you need with regards to managing and editing histories against the system. The next point to cover, and it's a fairly minor update, but it's in relation to these selection screens. This is for candidates, company and contact. Whenever you're doing a selection screen search, if you were to enter in some search criteria, which essentially results in you not finding a record, then on the basis of obviously hitting search and nothing being there, when you hit create new, the contents of your criteria will be copied into that create new form. So the surname, forename fields, they'll be copied with the details that you entered in to the criteria. So it's just a minor update, but it helps obviously with the speed for data entry. So that's just a minor update we made there. Next point to cover is just, again, another minor update in relation to showing the job boards tab on a requirement. So when in a requirement record, the job boards tab is obviously used for posts that you've obviously made to Broadbean and showing you the current adverts that you have in play with regards to those posts. However, if you aren't using Broadbean, if you don't have a Broadbean account, essentially you'd have that setting, or have this feature disabled, which is obviously a setting that you can have within the system, and you'd also want this job boards tab to be not visible. So what we have now is a user group permission, which will remove the job boards tab from view. So if we set this to no access, you can then, if you then refresh on this candidate record following that update, or so requirement record following that update, you can see there that the job boards tab is now gone. So yeah, the job boards tab essentially is now a tab which can be shown or hidden on the basis of whether or not you're using the Broadbean functionality in the system. Another minor update, and that's the email field update that's been made throughout the system. So whenever there's an email address field in the system, what you'll see now is that there is a send email icon and button that's available on the right hand side of that field. Same principle as the click to dial functionality, essentially. On the basis of clicking that button, it will trigger the email form, and the contents of that email field will be put into the to address at the top of the email form. So this is predominantly to cater for the scenario of using the secondary email address. So you can click that now, and it obviously goes into the email form as you would want it to, but it also can be used with the primary email address. And it's obviously just another easily accessible mechanism for using the email form. So that's just a minor update we made there. Next point to cover, again, it's just another minor update within the search area. Whenever you are opening a saved search or saving a saved search, essentially when you're using a saved search, what we've done now is ensure that the name of the saved search is included in the title bar, similar as we have throughout the system. Essentially, when you're in a record, the name is in the title bar. What that does is it ensures that you basically have a means of being able to keep track of which search you are in or using if you have multiple searches open at any one time within multiple tabs. So yeah, the search name will be viewable within the main black toolbar or main black title bar within Colleague when you're opening save searches. The last point to cover is the addition of the assistant field to the contact record. So within a contacts record, you have a reports to field, which is obviously to signify this contact's line manager, and then you have now an assistant field, which is to signify either a subordinate or someone that you could approach if this person is obviously not available to you. And that's essentially both these fields work in the same way. You have a magnifying glass that you can click on, and that will do a search which will basically show you all of the contacts that are against that company that you're within, and you can select the contacts, and obviously that is then assigned. And then for the assistant, again, the same approach. You hit the magnifying glass, again you're given a list of the contacts, you can select the contact, hit select, and again you have that option there, and this is obviously a link which you can then click on to open up the associated record, either in a new tab or take you straight through into the record. So that's essentially the assistant field that's been added to the contact record. As always, if you have any queries or feedback, please get in touch. I'll be keen to hear from you. Also, for those using Colleague 7, feel free to submit your enhancement requests via the support team or directly to me using the above email address. The next video will be the sprint plan for 19.10.01, and as always, that will contain a high-level overview on the items we intend to work on during that sprint. Thanks for watching.